So as you look at the things that are happening, Bill, with the utter economic devastation, we had another 5 million people added to the rolls yesterday. We're probably at about 15 to 17% unemployment rate right now. People, I don't think, are listening to the people. They're not responding to the business owners. What do you see coming on this end of a lockdown? Because the big debate now is, oh, Donald Trump is so irresponsible, and nobody's talking about the real people that are hurting because of this lockdown.
Yeah, because there's always a political agenda. So, as we discussed here on this program, there are many people in the country that feel that Trump is worse than the virus. So 4 more years of Trump is worse than anything the pandemic could bring. So the way to get him out is to keep the economy in a deflated state until November. Very simple equation. And nobody can say it isn't in play. Of course it's in play. You see it all the time. You see it every day. So as far as Americans are concerned, they're not getting the information they need from the national media. And I'll give you a very specific. In Europe this week, Denmark, Austria, Czech Republic opened. Next week, Germany. Big Germany opens up on Monday. And the reason they are all opening is because Europeans, generally speaking, have no savings because the government takes all of their money. All right?
Yep.
They don't have savings accounts like we do in America. They don't have IRAs, they don't have retirement, they don't have any of that because the government gives them cradle to grave. But now they can't buy food. And if you're in Germany and you can't buy food, you know what's going to happen. So Merkel didn't want to, all right, but has to open the country on Monday. So all Americans should be watching what happens in Europe. Does the pandemic spike? Is there chaos in the streets? What happens? Is it orderly? Are the shops functioning in an orderly way? People have to wear masks, and they have to distance. People have to do all that, but I assume they will. All right? But this is a big story because what happens there this week and next week is going to happen here. Just today, Jacksonville opened its beaches. Jacksonville has to open its beaches because it has no money coming in. So all of these stories are what Americans should be concentrating on, not the phony, fabricated reports that you're getting 24/7 on cable news, which is absolutely outrageous. What a useless industry. Go ahead.
So wait, Bill. I want to go back to Jacksonville. What you said was really important. Jacksonville has to open their beaches because they have no money coming in. Well, what really pisses me off is states, quite honestly, like Michigan, where they've got money coming in because they're keeping the state liquor stores open. But
it's not nearly enough.
Jacksonville has to open their beaches. Right. Well, what about all the businesses that have to open?
Listen, what you're going to see in America is what you're seeing in Europe. You're going to see, beginning very quickly, stores starting to open in states that are not that impacted. And you're going to see that. That's going to happen. Now, there are going to be places like New York City, where I am, okay, which can't happen. It can't. All right? But it will happen, I'd say, in 75% of the country. However, we have to watch to see what happens in Europe. This is the perfect place because they have the pandemic there. And they have large cities there.
Give me a review of what you think about these northeastern mayor or governors that are all coming together to be Trump-proof. What are your thoughts on that?
Okay, look, if you don't live in the Northeast or California, you don't understand the welfare state that's been set up. So you don't have that welfare state in Texas, where you are. You don't have it in most of the upper Midwest and the Rocky Mountain states, but you have it here. So New York State owes, what, $100 billion? They can't possibly ever pay it, so they need the federal government to give them stuff because New York State is so irresponsible in its spending. and it's the highest tax state in the union. But they give away, and there's so much corruption that the tax money is flushed down the drain. Just this week in California, the governor said, we're going to give $1,000 to every illegal alien in here. Okay, well, how do you do that? You don't know where they are. They don't file tax returns. You know how they're going to do it, Beck? They're going to give it to private charities, the state, Sacramento.
Oh, my gosh.
To private charities who deal with the undocumented community, as that they call it.
And how much of that money, I guarantee you, how much of that money... I know, but how much of that money is not going to actually make it to those people? This is a way to funnel money into those organizations.
And if you're an illegal alien and they don't know where you are, you go to every charity and get the grant. You go to 1, you go to 2, you go to 3, you go to 4. You just, get in a little car and you zip around. Hey, here I am. And nobody's going to monitor it. They don't know where you live. They don't know who you are. You don't have a passport. Who are you? I don't know. I'm an illegal alien. Give me $1,000. And then California, of course, is going to run a huge deficit. Then they go, well, I want federal money. Give me federal block grants. And so, look, this is the game. This is when you're dependent on government, as many states are. They're dependent on the federal government. And then you're in a pandemic where the spending is crazy. All right, where are you going to go? So Cuomo says, I need 30,000 ventilators. Give me them. Give me them right now. Where are they? How come you don't have them? This is what Cuomo's saying, right? You know how many he's used?
Yep.
5,000. I'm sorry. He needed 30,000. He's used 5,000. All right, but he wanted the 30,000. Give me the 30,000. Where are they? How come you don't have them? This is the game. Blame everyone else for your irresponsible and corrupt spending practices because, oh, no, it's not my fault. Oh, no. It is so staggeringly corrupt. But when you do have a corrupt system, anything like this collapses it. And it should become clear to the American people that you cannot be dependent on a government. If you are dependent, you're going to die. It's a matter of when, not if.
All right, so let me ask you this. Looking at the latest poll, and I'm trying to find the actual story, it shows that Donald Trump has gone down 5 percentage points, which is a big deal for him.
Gallup poll.
So you don't buy it?
Sure I do. Americans are an impatient people. Of course I do. Every week this goes on, his numbers are going to go down. Then when it gets better, they'll go up. And it depends on the timeline on whether they go up enough for him to win. But Americans aren't. I mean, everybody's getting a little teed off now. And the blame game is starting. And unfortunately, a lot of Americans are watching television news, which is totally misleading them in every area. And enough people believe it so that anybody's numbers would go down. And that's what you're seeing with Trump. Trump knows that he wins if he gets it under control by midsummer, that if September rolls around, the kids can't go back to school, and then he loses. He knows.